Hi, Rich Carrubba for bowlingball.com. Well, if you're trying to learn how to make your bowling ball hook more, it starts with understanding, let's say, 4 available options to you. First, alter the bowling ball surface. Next, change of bowling balls. 3, a release change. Or 4, an alignment change. Any of these combinations will help you learn how to make your bowling ball hook more, and we like to start with the Pro Shop. The Pro Shop can take your existing bowling ball and they can work with it with a high-speed spinner and with Aberlon grit pads, and they can texture and make the surface very smooth or very dull and textured to bite the lane, and they can apply polishes as needed. There are different screening techniques to help increase your bowling ball hook, and different techniques depending on the lane condition to prepare overall the surface of that ball. So your first line of defense is your Pro Shop operator. Remember, about a 500 grit pad in most cases will allow for the most aggressive friction factor on the lanes and works best if you're bowling in heavy oil. Now, generally speaking, no one complains about their bowling ball not hooking enough on dry lanes. So, because of the heavy concentrations of oil on the front end of the lane, screening your ball with a very low grit of pad will help you make your ball hook more and attain an earlier response in the heavy oil than with a ball with a smooth surface or one that's saturated in oil. So remember, most of the time if you're working with a hard polyester cover stock or one which is not a very aggressive reactive resin cover stock, those balls won't dull sufficiently to create a dramatic hook action. Those balls are typically for drier lanes. So it's those oily lane conditions you need an aggressive cover stock. Don't be afraid to change bowling balls in competition either and switch to a ball with that aggressive cover stock to combat the oil. When you change bowling balls, you also want to understand too that you want something with a strong low RG. It gives a fast rev rate. So the ball's revving fast in heavy oil on the front end, maintains its rev rate in the mid lane, and then has a pretty strong differential or flare potential on the back end of the lane, so it doesn't spend its energy too quickly fighting oil and has enough to hook into the pocket or make a fairly sharp break from the break point to the pocket. That's how you optimize pin carry as well. Now, adjusting your alignment positioning on the approach toward the edges of the lane in most typical house patterns where the cross lane ratios we find more concentration of oil in the center of the lane and less on the edges. Moving toward the center of the lane and the higher friction part of the lane, well, your ball will respond quicker and it'll give you the look of hooking more. Okay? It's just grabbing the lane and changing directions sooner. So you want to make sure that you don't stay in the oil too long and the ball overskids past the break point. Sometimes incorrect alignment will prevent you from hooking the ball enough. And we like to use a parallel adjustment system when you're not lined up correctly. 2 and 1 is a good overall general parallel alignment system. 2 with your feet, 1 with your eyes. Same direction, make multiple adjustments until you see your ball start hooking the desired amount. Now, finally, it always helps to see a coach if your physical changes is what you're after with your release. So we recommend to make the ball release heavier, you want to make sure that you get a little quicker rotation with the fingers of your bowling fingers, of your bowling hand. If your hand was underneath or behind the ball, maybe at the moment of release, a 2 or 3 hour rotation on the clock dial will allow enough axis tilt, and if it's done quickly enough, will apply enough rev rate to increase your overall ball hook. More rev rate, greater axis tilt typically will increase ball hook. Okay? Again, see a coach to make sure that you apply the right changes to your physical game and use them in the right way. Coach, yeah, could be a Pro Shop operator who has a lot of experience, could simply be a certified USBC coach, or perhaps a professional bowler you might know to spend time with you on the lanes. Hope these tips help, and while you're visiting us today, take some time to check out our extensive menu of products. If you find one you like and you want to purchase it, simply follow our easy to order online instructions. And remember, our store is always open, and we thank you for visiting bowlingball.com.